Yo, internet, welcome back to the Jongravesshow. Let's jump right into some news articles because I do have a few pertaining to Devil May Cry, but most of them they are mostly on the heels of Capcom in a whole. So let's jump right into that. Devil May Cry 5 is Capcom's second biggest PC launch ever, which in light of everything like Resident Evil 2. And I'm not gonna say that Resident Evil 2 was their greatest game ever, but starting out 2019 with Resident Evil 2 remake and of course Devil May Cry 5, it was literally their best move ever. You know, it says that it even beat out their 2017 Resident Evil 7. It is now the latest game in the hack and slash Devil May Cry game that has surpassed both of them, making it Capcom's second biggest PC launch ever, which is amazing. Which does kind of make one think that Capcom, not even those two games, which of course this is Capcom's golden era, golden age, or at least they have returned to it, to whereas that we kind of all remember that wonderful time, man, where Capcom just kept putting out Resident Evil 4 and everything, to whereas that now, not only do we have Resident Evil, okay, we have Resident Evil 7, obviously, that's them taking the step, in the right direction, even though people shit on 6 super hard, right? It's 6 really wasn't that bad of a game, if you're just playing it. In terms of story and atmosphere, that is non-existent. But still, with you going and playing Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 2 remake, obviously Resident Evil 7, Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, 3 Ultimate, I know most don't really like some of their middle of the road hits, such as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now, honestly, that game still isn't as bad as what they make it out to be. It's just some of the models and obviously the story mode are really bad. The game itself is really good, similarly to Street Fighter 5, which is getting better and better and better every season. I haven't put up any gameplay of it, but honestly, with them adding brand new characters, interesting ideas, stories for certain characters, Capcom has been really putting in the work for that, especially when it comes down to, they also re-released Onimusha up on Steam, and I believe they're also planning on bringing out way more of their classical also Okami too. They're putting out so many games, so many classic and good games that honestly you can't really even look at the company and be like, well, now this company is terrible, or at the very least they're kind of putting out that little sliver of hope that's sort of telling everybody, hey man, we're back, which actually has reached the ears of one of their CEOs. A Capcom USA CEO proudly shouts, Capcom is back. And honestly, even with Monster Hunter World, up there too, I can't really call them wrong because when I think about it, when you think about it, it's they kind of haven't done anything bad, or at the very least, everything that they've put out so far has been getting positive feedback, and it's something that I actually really like. But basically, speaking on some negatives though, which I think that they may have fixed, because I kind of have to talk about this now, which is that Devil May Cry 5 plays like a dream on every other thing except for the Xbox One S. Now, I don't know the full extent of it, but basically it's both the PlayStation 4 stock and the Xbox One S enjoy the full HD results, but only the Sony machine is rendering at 1080p native, which obviously gotta talk about all graphics. The Xbox One release is is using a reconstruction process to deliver reasonably close results, which I kind of look at it whereas that it's just it probably just wasn't made for that console. I mean, thinking about that this is a Japanese game created in now it's a Japanese game made by a Japanese company that doesn't really respect the Xbox like how they respect the PlayStation, and it's not like an American thing. It's just they don't have the games, or basically it doesn't have the traffic that the PlayStation 4 has. So most likely they just don't really care about the system. So it's whatever. It's like, hey man, like as long as it's running, it's fine. But that's kind of where they leave it. But off of that negative news, here's some positive news, which again, it's always something like with a modder. Modder turns Devil May Cry 5 final boss into a playable character, and it's one of those things where it's like, listen, if people can, listen, if it's on Steam and people have people already know how to like mod the RE engine in Resident Evil 2 remake, and they've put in different guns, different costumes, changed colors of costumes, changed up models and whatnot. I mean, honestly, you know, like there's only one attack thing in that, like in a few animations and whatnot. So at this point, I kind of saw it as only a matter of time. The only thing Capcom really has to do is just make the infamous final boss. Well, technically it's been a week, so I'm not gonna spoil it because again, even though we know who it is and they spoiled it themselves, man, with every single, I want to say, cutscene, and even the sword itself, like if you played the game, it's like, well, wait a second, they even say it in this article. It's right here. Oh my Jesus, you know. But still, even with this guy here, like, it was only a matter of time before they put him in the game. Now, literally the only thing, man, that I can sort of say about that is that, like, I don't really, I don't own the PC version. I own the PlayStation 4 version, and I kind of wish that they would make him playable at the very least. But then again, I could also see some changes with his character too. Like, if they did give him like Dante's like style thing. But this kind of only tells me like that if Capcom actually made him playable, like make him a DLC character, would it be a problem if they kept the concentration thing from DMC4, and also if they were to add in Dante's like little like style switcher, but just go from Dark Slayer to Sword Master to basically, I want to say summon swords to his own version of Royal Guard, which I wouldn't see as a problem, but I would think that it would be super cool, man, like if he had it. But yeah, but leaving out on a super positive note, what's that? Now this is the final article, which is telling me that Capcom is going above and beyond, and is Capcom's Dragon's Dogma is becoming an anime series on Netflix, which I would say, which oddly enough, you know, I feel as though is that this one it's just gonna follow the storyline of basically the main character from when you start the game, because that was their own created character, his own story. Like they even like had that up on the original Dragon's Dogma website, where that they would talk about this character, I forget his name, but it was this character, and he would have a griffin and he had a pawn that looked like his deceased father, and with that pawn, he used him to take out the griffin, in a sense, you know. And that right there was pretty interesting, you know. And it's pretty interesting, like, or at least I'm actually happy that they're actually going back and talking about the Dragon's Dogma series, because they do talk about They do talk about the story in little bits and pieces, such as this. The story follows a man's journey seeking revenge on a dragon that stole his heart. Obviously, on his way, the man is brought back to life as an arisen. An action adventure about a man challenged by demons who represent the 7 deadly sins of humans. Now, this might actually be its own thing and whatnot, but again, that is the usual follow through, which is because that is one thing that the game never touched on. It was like because you play a silent protagonist, obviously, but it's like you kind of don't learn about their history, their past and whatnot, or better yet, how this is actually affecting them and the people around them, or what are the sins and whatnot. They kind of only talk about that in like in the game, such as what happens, so like, because there's a weird like little intertwining story, like if you play the game from the king, your player character, the dragon, and literally the god himself who reigns over this like weird little intertwined web of life, you know, because they're all connected to the Arisen. And it would be a good idea to kind of like go into this and sort of see how it affects everything. So I do like that. But sadly, that is where I am going to end this wonderful segment. I'll see you guys on the next Jongravesshow. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. If you like this setup, please let me know down in the comment section. Also, I did before I leave, I did want to say that Capcom is also trying to plan a DMC5 anime. Possibly it's gonna lead on past the events of Devil May Cry, the game, or it might just be a prequel thing. It's hard to say, but I'll catch you guys next time. I'm out.